Aloha and welcome to episode 25, season 2 of my winter long stay in Oahu, November 30th, 2025. My name is Beach Monkey. I'm a photographer, surfer, and traveler. During my stay, I want to show you the spots I surfed, the places I ate, and activities I did, so when you come to Oahu, you can plan your own ideal itinerary. And please don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons. On this episode, surfing at Diamond Head, hiking the Ehukai Pillbox Trail, watching huge waves on North Shore, eating at Ted's Bakery, and then watching surfers at Waimae Bay at sunset. That morning, I paddled out at one of my favorite surf breaks on the South Shore, Diamond Head Beach. Diamond Head Beach is located at the foot of Diamond Head Crater Trail and is accessible by a long concrete path to the far left. You'll be able to see here in a second. My buddy at 6 a.m. Productions brought my drone out and got some amazing shots. Even though he only got one shot of me surfing, I was incredibly grateful for the footage. And sometimes it just happens. It's very hard to do drone shots of surfers when there's so many surfers out. The waves that day were 1 to 2 feet, sometimes 2 to 3. The waves were also a little bit more difficult to catch, but you see there in the distance, that's Diamond Head, and there's the lighthouse. And then you see all the surfers there. So the main break, as you see here, is to the far right. There's also another break in front of the lighthouse. It's a little shallower, a little more reefy, called Lighthouse. But this break's called Cliffs because basically it's at the bottom of this cliff. And you see there, you can barely see it, but at the very far left, you see a little path going down. So basically you park up on the road. There's free parking there. Walk all the way down the concrete path to the beach, and then walk straight over to where the drone flew out, and that's where I paddle out at. And you'll see here in a second where I kind of walk down the beach. But it's just a beautiful shot, and look how pretty that is. So as you can see, this is a spot you kind of walk down the beach from the concrete path to get back to the place where you paddle out. Now, for me, this is the easiest place to paddle out because you'll see here in a second, there's a little break in the reef. It's kind of sandy, but this is such a beautiful spot. I just love walking along the cliff line here. And this is the spot where you kind of paddle out. You see there's like a little break in the reef. It's such a pretty spot. And this drone shot's amazing. I never really seen what the reef looks like I'm paddling over. But from above, you kind of see how pretty the reef is. The paddle out is roughly anywhere from 4 to 8 minutes, depending on, how far out it's breaking, what the waves are like. But it's not that bad of a paddle out. It's just long. And I paddle kind of straight out and start veering to the right because it breaks a little more over to the right where the better waves are. The Ehukai Pillbox Trail took us about 2 hours from the parking lot and back. It's an out and back trail, and it's about 2.4 miles in total. There is about a 774-foot gain in elevation. There are some steep sections. It's located in Oahu's North Shore, very near to the famous Bonsai Pipeline surf break. From the top of the pillbox, you can actually see the waves. There is free parking and some bathrooms at the Sunset Neighborhood Park, but the spaces for parking is very limited. This can be a very difficult hike or moderate hike depending on how good a shape you're in. Make sure you wear good shoes, hiking shoes preferred, wear sunscreen, use bug spray because there are a lot of mosquitoes there, and bring plenty of water. This trail tends to get very muddy if it rains. As you can see, the first section is a lot of tall grass. As you can see on the ground there as well, you can see where it gets muddy, but this is also where a lot of the mosquitoes are. So I put plenty of bug spray on myself because it had been raining, but the trail that day wasn't too bad. But a lot of times when it rains, this trail turns into a mud bath. Also, there are a lot of side quest trails on this path here. So you can go left, you can go right. I use the All Trails app. I'm not endorsing them. They don't give me any money, but it's a great map to use. We used it several points throughout the whole hike. to make sure we kept on pace. But there's so many side trails. You can turn this 2 mile journey into a 5 mile journey very easily or get lost. But I would just kind of stick to the main trail when you first start it. And then maybe in later times, come back and do the side quest trails. As you can see coming up here, there are some trip hazards as well too. A lot of roots sticking out. The incline is slight here, but it does get very steep coming up here very shortly. If you do see someone coming on the trail towards you, be a good person and kind of go to the side. That way they can get through. The trails are very narrow. It doesn't fit two people side by side, but it's always nice neighborly thing to do is like let people, especially have dogs, small children, go through first. Generally, the person coming uphill has the right of way of the person coming downhill because you're doing the harder work. But if there's a small children or dogs, always going to let them pass and continue on my journey. At this point here, the trail is starting to get a little bit steeper. You can see kind of the incline going up a little bit. It's not too bad right here, but you kind of see a little bit of the incline that's starting. Coming up here is a really great spot to take a photo. We did pause and get a couple good photos here. That tree is like kind of really cool. I like how the branches are sticking off on that little rock sitting in the front. So we did stop right here. It's a good time to take a rest, get some water. 6 a.m. Productions got his photo first, and I got mine next. As you can see here, the incline is becoming greater. There are some roots and some rocks and stuff to kind of help you move up the trail more. But as you can see, if this trail is muddy, how much harder walking through this section would be. So in this next section here, you see the incline's greater. There are ropes here to kind of help pull you up. And you can also tell if this area gets muddy, it becomes not fun at all. But there are some ropes here to kind of help the incline. From the video, you can't tell how bad the incline is, but it is fairly steep. And you see it keeps going up continuously. So if this is kind of hard going for you, make sure you stop and take a rest. But did you see the incline going up there the way I just pointed? This spot right here, that tree, is another interesting place to take photos. We didn't go over there to get photos. We wanted to kind of get up the hill. My buddy 6 a.m. Productions, like I said, it's the second day back on the island. So hiking was a little more hard for him, but he did great, considering, you don't do anything all year. Then all of a sudden you're thrown into a moderately difficult hike it's very steep. What we do is we both wear Apple Watches. We continuously watch our heart rate. If it gets above a certain point, we stop and take a rest and let it come back down. And that's something that everybody should do. Not that I'm endorsing Apple Watch. Some way to monitor your heart rate so you're not getting the heart rate too high. 6 a.m. Productions heart rate was getting a little bit high, so we decided to take a stop. Now, I don't recommend sitting if you are exerting yourself. It's probably one of the worst things you can do, but I can't tell people what to do. So 6 a.m. Productions decided to sit for a little bit. It does lead to cramps. I don't know if anyone's ever played sports. The first thing you tell you is don't sit down after you're exerting yourself. It makes your body worse. But that's what he had to do to sit. So I'm not dogging him at all. But if you do feel overexerted, definitely 100% take a break. If you need to sit, sit. But the best bet is to kind of walk around a little bit. While 6 a.m. Productions was monitoring his heart rate, I decided to go up a little further. As you see here, there's ropes to help you up. There's a couple of little steep sections here. The trail, as far as the steepness goes, isn't as bad as a lot of the trails on Oahu, but it still is fairly steep. Like I said, if you're a person that doesn't hike much, or maybe you haven't hiked in a couple of years, this will take your breath away for sure, going up these steep trails. And if you see, if this was muddy, this would be kind of a nightmare to walk up. That's why hiking shoes are must for going on these hikes. The steepest section is coming up right here. As you can see, it's almost like little steps cutting into the side of the mountain. But there's ropes there to help pull you up. And you can tell if it's muddy, it would be not a fun, hike up. But it is fairly steep. 6 a.m. Productions had taken a little break there, but it decided to continue up to get to the top. But it's not too bad. So as you can see here, there's kind of two different trails. There's like a little Y in the trail. So I had to break out the All Trails app to see if we're going the right direction. You definitely don't want to take a side quest trail and end up in the wrong spot. There's so many little trails here that you want to make sure that you're going the right direction. I think I'm heading in the right direction. Let 6 a.m. Productions know. He's eventually making it up. As you can see, that incline for someone who doesn't hike much is kind of a struggle. So it's nice to kind of let him check his heart rate, catch his breath, and then we can continue on the trail the way we're supposed to go. As you see, the trail has so many little side quests, but once you get to this section here, it does flatten out a bit, so it's less steep. This is actually the first time I've been on this trail, so we're both experiencing this trail for the first time together. So it's a great trail. I wanted to hike it last year, but we had a whole spout of rain, and the trail was like super muddy, and people are coming out of it covered in mud. And me and 6 a.m. Productions were like, nah, we don't want to do this. We'll just wait. And here is the Ehukai bunker pillbox. This used to be an old World War II, either observation post or an old bunker where they had machine guns or just things like that. And if you see the view, look how amazing that view is. And these people were camped out there when we got there, and they are there for like a couple hours, but that's okay. The view is just incredible. I would have camped out there too, but they got there first. So this is an amazing spot to take photos, to just see what's going on. I'll put some close-up videos I got of the waves, but that's Bonsai Pipeline down there. That day, the waves were 25 to 30 feet. The Bonsai Pipeline was not surfable. People off to the right, there's a break off to the right. I believe that's gas chambers. I'm not quite sure, but they were doing toe-in surfing there. But straight out ahead, that pipeline, there weren't any surfers. It was just way too huge. And just look at the lines out in the horizon of the waves coming in. You look at the wave there and the spray coming off. That's a 20 to 30 foot wave, easy. It's hard to judge from this point of view how big the wave is, but it's easily 20 to 30 feet high. This spot where it says good vibes only is another really cool place to take a photo. I've seen a lot of people take photos there. And you can actually go inside the bunker. There's a lot of just beautiful graffiti art going in there. And of course, you get the amazing view as well, too, of the Bonsai Pipeline. It's such a pretty spot. And this is another great place to take photos. Another really good photo spot. The trail here turns into a lot of kind of pine tree forest. So there's a lot of pine needles on the ground, kind of gives that kind of hush kind of tones and the pine smell. And it's a lot less muddy here too, and it's a lot less softer walking. So this is another like just really pretty spot as well to take photos. This is another area. Make sure you consult your All Trails map or know where you're going. We had to look at it a couple of times because the trail kind of zigzags, and 6 a.m. Productions got us back on trail to make sure we're going the right direction. Again, there's another kind of little fork in the road. We had to make sure we're looking at our All Trails map to make sure we're going the right direction, and 6 a.m. Productions got the right spot to go where we're supposed to go. And here we are back at the pillbox. This completes the loop. So it's always good to come back. I was hoping the pillbox would be clear so I can get some really good photos, but the group of 4 were still sitting there chilling, which is fine. Like I said, they were eating lunch there and having a good old time. I didn't want to interrupt them saying, hey, can you move so I can get a photo? But it's okay. We did sit there for a while and watch the waves come in. That's a 30+ foot day coming in to just the awe power of the ocean. You see the lines of waves just coming in. It was just beautiful. We couldn't help but sit there for a while and watch the waves. After that, we walked down to Ehukai Park and got kind of a close-up view of the waves. It's just pounding on the shore. So pretty. And like I said, there was no one out there surfing at this spot. The waves are just way too big. We went to Ted's Bakery located on the North Shore. If you ever gone to any grocery stores and seen those little pies, sometimes they're full pies, sometimes they're pieces. That's Ted's Bakery. Their pastries, pies, desserts are amazing. They also have a restaurant here, so you can order food as well. 6 a.m. Productions wanted to try the Loco Moco. He's never had it before. I don't eat red meat. I've never had it before either, so I was going to order something different. I got the katsu chicken sandwich, but these custard cream puffs must have. It's like a hard chocolate shell with custard in the middle. It's hard just to eat one, but you see the custard in the middle. It's phenomenal, phenomenal. Here's the Loco Moco that Mike could order. It's basically a hamburger patty, similar hamburger patty, covered with gravy, with an egg, rice. I think he got the mac on the side. He basically eats rice with every single meal, so this should be a good meal for him. He did like it. He didn't like the hamburger patty as much. He thought it was a little dry, but he did really enjoy the amount of food that you get. I got the katsu chicken wrap, which I thought was really good. Normally, I don't get food there. I just get the desserts. I'd already eaten the chocolate covered cream puff. So we went over to the other side of Waimae Bay to watch the surfers catch these giant 30-foot bombs coming through. We got lucky and got a spot on the cliff overlooking the waves. And you see over here, even the shore break was huge. That's double overhead shore break at least. It was a really cool vibe. It kind of reminded me of the old 90s surf flicks where you see the people sitting on top of their cars watching the surfers catch these bombs. I didn't have a very good lens. This guy has a massive telephoto lens there. He was capturing the surfers really well. 6 a.m. Productions did have the iPhone 17, so he had that really good zoom feature. I unfortunately didn't. This is kind of the best I could do. It's kind of grainy, but just amazing to see the surfers trying to catch these waves. Thank you so much for hanging out, and please keep checking back for more videos. Aloha.